Hi, this is Misha, and today I am Batman. I'm Batman. Safety, I assume?
Yep.
It's a good place. I like that location.
Uh-huh.
Neat.
Go ahead.
Jay and I met up to do kind of a 9mm day. We often theme our trips to the range based on ammo types initially. We'll kind of communicate earlier in the week about, first off, the 2 or 3 ammo types we want to bring, and then we'll kind of pattern guns around it. This week was a 9mm. And he kind of surprised me today with this, something he picked up recently. Most of you know it. This is the Kriss Vector. This actually makes 3 different guns with the name Vector, manufacturer name Vector, on them in the place right now. So that's not confusing at all. This one is in 9mm. This is a Generation 2. You get the idea. Most of the thing about this is its mechanical operation. This is a new machine gun pattern. These started to kind of go into development in the early 21st century. The early prototypes were shown off around 2007, and they started to go onto the market slowly but surely between then and about 2010. The Generation 2, which has a redesigned grip and safety, a few other little bobs and bells and things, came out around 2015, so 2-3 years ago now. And they offer this in 4 versions. There is the submachine gun with either a 5.5 or 6.5 inch barrel, folding stock of course. There is the SBR, same as the sub gun but semi-auto only. There is the pistol, which you have here, with the short barrel but no stock. And of course there's the carbine, which has the stock but a legal 16-inch barrel or a barrel extension of some type. Now the pistols like this are sold in a few different configurations, but namely with and without brace, and obviously Jay's here has the brace, which is really the only way to do it. I had never fired one of these till today, and my initial impressions were quite good. First off, it was 100% reliable. I can't speak to accuracy, but since it doesn't have a lot of movement vertically or any teeter-tottering, I'm sure accuracy is fine. It's heavy, but well balanced around the grip area, so not unpleasantly so. Although I have to say, the first time you put it in my hands, I was shocked about relatively how solid and weighty it feels. Most of your weight's right here because this is your operation. It's threaded 1/2 by 28, and he's just got a pretty generic muzzle device on here. He's got actually his hand stop from his Scorpion on this kind of canted front rail. Top rail here just has a knockoff aim point. It's got the Midwest Industries folding sights, which I actually think I really like because they're very flat. Be good for a gun needing to be streamlined. Controls are what you'd expect. We've got a non-reciprocating HK kind of style handle here. This does have a last round hold open. Mag releases here, takes Glock mags. Your standard mags will fit flush. Of course, the longer ones will stick out. I really like the safety location. You can see us shooting there and me messing with the safety. It is very nicely placed for either finger. That's one of the updates they did for the Gen 2, and I think it's definitely a good change. In the back here, we're just threaded standard AR-15 buffer tube, so got all kinds of brace options. And we have a small little storage compartment under the grip here for whatever. Now, this gun was targeted not just at the civilian market, but also military and police. And since it's been out for about a decade now, While it hasn't really found much acceptance in the USA, at least with the US military, a few American police departments have bought these in various numbers. It looks like, though, there's quite a bit of acceptance in East Asia, such as the Philippines and Thailand and Indonesia, at least if Wikipedia is correct. But it does look like a few militaries and a number of security and police forces have bought these. Of course, it doesn't tell if they bought 2 or 200 or 2,000. Obviously, huge contracts have eluded the company. But what makes this special is its operating system. It's housed in here. We'll look at it. Surprisingly, these come apart very easily with one of my favorite systems, push pins. Being a military connoisseur, I'm very used to them. This one here I notice is kind of stiff. I'm going to take another pin out to push that one out. This front pin comes out very easily. They're not captive, as you see. They're HK style. I don't know why that one kind of hangs up right in the middle there. Put these in my pocket. That's right, there's one more down here. Sorry guys. Like I said, I just met this gun today, so you can cut me a little slack if you want. If not, that's okay too. Let me get my push pin, another pin out here. As you see, it's quite easy. That separates the two halves. Well, should. You have to take all 4 out. I thought you could, yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. I thought you could. I'm used to guns springing apart because of how they're made. Now this is most of your internal work and barrel. We'll set that aside and look at it in a minute. Here's your trigger. It's really weird, like the trigger is upside down. See? This is pretty much all polymer, and this is not the gun part. So theoretically, if you had a pistol and you wanted to convert it to an SBR or a carbine with a barrel extension, you could buy a new back section there. Here is our show. We have our barrel system, cocking handle, and we have our internals. This is held on by final 4th pin. This is under a little spring tension, so I'm holding it. There we go. And this is our operating system. This is no new news. Most of you have seen it by now. This is the firing position. This is your bolt. And then when it fires, it travels down and kind of goes in like so, and then when it comes back up, like so. So I love it when it's done. It looks kind of sad. It looks kind of sad, kind of derpy. Boop. So it's kind of a Z shape. Yeah. And that is running in a track in here. That's supposed to reduce felt recoil by directing it down as opposed to back at the shooter. And while we're shooting standard ammo, it's hard to tell, but it seemed reasonably effective. Next time we're going to get some NATO spec stuff and really put it through its paces. Get some plus P and go from there. Alrighty, back together. Actually went back together pretty good. It's just you got to get the kind of, because a lot of the weight is right here. The rest of the gun, the back part, is extremely light. I would say this is front heavy, except you're gripping it right here, so it doesn't come across as front heavy, but definitely this is your weight center of the gun. So yeah, reliability was good. Ergonomics on the Gen 2 are definitely improved from the Gen 1. As I was telling Jay, I never really messed with the Gen 2s. I'd handled 1 or 2 over the years, but I'd only really ever handled a Gen 1 in the store back in the day. So I think they've really improved things. Also, as I was telling him, the brace isn't bad, but I would definitely want an integrated folding hinge here. I wouldn't really want to put on an extra block back here and make this even longer. So a folding brace version would probably be pretty good, but I mean, looking at the stock versus this brace, you're not really losing. In shooting comfort, it works great. Now, part of it is the fact we're just 9mm. Another part is this recoil reduction system. The jury's still out in my mind just how effective that is versus how much of a gimmick, but I will say it is mechanically very interesting, and I do like interesting mechanics. Trigger is fine. I mean, it's got some take up, but not bad really. It's actually pretty good. Reset's pretty short and everything, so trigger's good, I'd say. Definitely not your typical plasticky trigger. Interesting gun, but I don't have really firm opinions on it yet. I haven't shot it enough, so we'll do update vids. But a lot of you have asked what we think about the Kriss Vector, so here it is. We'd love to hear your own stories about these below. If you have any other comments, also please post those, and we'll do our best to respond. Probably Jay will, since this is his, and he'll have more trigger time with it as the weeks go by. If you like, we always appreciate it if you could click that, and if you'd like to help support us even more, please click on and check out the link to our Patreon page. This is Misha, and we'll catch you next time.